Alright, coverage is going to be starting in just a few minutes. I'm trying to get this all set up. Hold on one moment. Okay, we are now starting our coverage. We have a bit of a severe weather outbreak going on in the plains. With 100-mile-an-hour winds, large hail, as well as a couple of tornadoes. So let's get right into it. Things appear to have calmed down from what it was earlier, but we still have many severe thunderstorm warnings. This is going to be part of what could be a derecho. It's going to be a long-lasting event. I will only be live for a couple hours. This is not a planned live stream, honestly. I really did not anticipate being live today. But here we are. So, sorry if things are a little bit more lower quality from our usual, but we're trying. Alright, so we have right here a large supercell that we have a few storm chasers on. This is a radar indicated tornado warning with tennis ball sized hail moving east at 30 miles an hour. And if you are in Hammond, Butler, Fossa Ravizzoir, Moorwood, and Stafford, take shelter immediately. Again, sorry if things are a little bit lower quality. Again, I did not exactly plan being live today, so. Brad Arnold is on the supercell. We don't really have a clear view at the moment, but this thunderstorm has a possible tornado and very, very large hail. The same storm with the tornado is producing winds up to 60 miles an hour. on the north side. On the south side, it could be producing a tornado. If not, it will be very, very soon. It could be very, very soon. And we also have tennis ball sized hail. I think the rotation that they are seeing is right in here, to the west of our hail core, right here. Brad Arnold might have a view of it. No, he just has he has a very, very beautiful view of the anvil above him, though. This storm is producing winds of 80 miles per hour. This is a destructive storm heading into the Kingman, Hutchinson area, but on a shorter time frame, heading towards Sylvia, Turon, Preston, Cunningham, Nashville, Sawyer, Coates. Areas like that are getting impacted by this destructive storm with winds up to 80 miles per hour. Again, our rotation appears to be right in here. Again, we have potential for a tornado and tennis ball sized hail. In this supercell, looking at our severe thunderstorm warnings, winds are really the main threat today. Main thing we are watching for is extreme damaging winds, potentially 90 to 100 miles per hour. We also have a tornado warning up here in South Dakota, interestingly. This is for Obviously, a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado in half-dollar sized hail. This is a severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-an-hour winds heading into Harrington, Chapman. Just hit Abilene. It's currently hitting Hope, Harrington, Woodbine. Gonna hit White City, Junction City, Chapman, and Buckeye. Is currently hitting those areas, if not all, we're about to hit those areas. Ooh. So right here on Connor Croft's stream, we have quite a mezzo. Again, we have this storm right here in Kansas producing 80 mile per hour winds. This is going to be potentially a derecho. The tornado threat is with the more isolated cells like those in western Oklahoma right now. A new severe thunderstorm warning down in Oklahoma for this little cell. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and half-dollar sized hail. This cell is in an environment where it could mature and become a larger cell in the future. It's in a marginal risk, so it's not in a as favorable of an environment, but it still has potential to produce damaging winds and some hail. Again, we have this system right in here, which has been producing some very, very strong winds, 70 to 100 miles per hour. This is the main concern. This is why the moderate risk is here. This is going to be a very, very long track system heading into the Kansas City area. This storm, again, started, I want to say back here, and then it kind of matured and is now producing widespread damaging wind gusts of 70 to 100 miles per hour. Right here we have this warning for a storm producing 80 mile per hour wind gusts. It is a destructive storm. If we can here, yeah, you could see a shelf cloud in the distance on this camera, more under it almost. But yeah, going to explain the structure of this storm. So let's okay, so this line of storms is bowing out, which essentially means that you have stronger winds out here pushing the line inland. You can see this curvature in the storm, and this is indicating some very, very strong winds. This happens a lot with these squall lines, mesoscale convective systems, whatever you want to call them. And that is whenever they are producing their strongest winds that happens. Storms can sometimes bow out to the level where they kind of tear the storm apart, and then it begins to weaken, but that is not what's expected to happen here for a long while. In fact, you shouldn't be using models in the short term for forecasting, but I'll show you guys really quickly exactly what's going to be happening here. So, going to the HRRR. Over the next few hours, these systems are going to be progressing and moving eastward through Kansas and Oklahoma. They are going to be hitting the Kansas City area with strong winds at around 11. And then it is going to be bowing out, as I said, where it begins to shred the storm and tear it apart. And at this point, you can see actually a really, really interesting spiral right here with a low pressure system. But yeah, you have the line, and then it begins bowing out and breaking apart into almost little cells, and it's at this point weakening very fast. But that will not happen. Will not begin happening, I should say, until around midnight. Strongest winds are going to be between now and 10 p.m. It's going to be approaching the Topeka area by around 10 as it first begins to weaken. Topeka, you guys are under, depends upon where you are in the Topeka area, but an enhanced or slight risk of severe weather, mostly for winds, hail. I believe there is an isolated tornado threat as well. Yeah, there's a risk for an isolated tornado. But the main thing we were watching for is large hail, some of which is wind-driven, which will be very, very dangerous. Going back to the radar. The two storms I am particularly focused on right now are the supercells in western Oklahoma, as well as this big line segment. This big line segment is the reason we have this moderate risk of severe weather. It is heavily wind driven and heavily wind and hail driven. There's not as much of a tornado threat. If there was, it will be a much more significant situation. Either way, it doesn't matter if it's straight line damaging winds or a tornado. They can do the same damage. It doesn't really make a difference. If you get a warning for destructive winds 80 plus miles an hour, you got to treat it like a tornado. Hello, Bucks fan WX. We have this line heading generally towards the Wichita area with 80 mile per hour wind gusts. There were some storms, I believe, further north that were producing 100 mile an hour winds earlier, which is what I was trying to go live for, but didn't quite do it fast enough. As you can see here, we have this this line of storms bowing out. You have the classic curvature you have whenever these winds are blowing heavily on the storm, and this is indicative of some very, very strong winds embedded in this squall. There's a report for damaging wind gusts up here, not a surprise. Power lines down, source emergency manager. Report here of 60 mile an hour wind gusts from a National Weather Service employee. 1.5 inch hail from fire department / rescue in Hope, Kansas. 1.5 inch hail. Again, this is mostly a large hail and wind driven event. We do not have as much of a tornado side to this. However, we do currently have a tornado warning that expires in 1 minute, but we at least had a tornado warning down here for this supercell. I think there'll be a few more throughout the night tonight. Other than that, we have a tornado warning that also expires in 1 minute in Nebraska or in South Dakota right now. At this point, I'm mostly focused on this, as it is going to be producing very, very strong winds as it races east. Moving east at 60 miles an hour. We have, again, a fast-moving but very, very strong and destructive storm system here. Currently in Kansas, for the most part, although we have some supercells as far south as Oklahoma and as far north as southern North Dakota. Some lines of storm, some supercells, clusters. There is also a report here of 70 mile an hour wind gusts. At least 70 mile an hour winds, could have been higher. 4-inch diameter tree limbs down. um, in Penalosa, Kansas. Source is a trained storm spotter, so. Yeah, I think it's gonna, I think it's gonna hit the Wichita Metro. Uh, if it does miss it, it could miss it just straight to, just a little bit to the north, but even if it does, the southern part of the line will still hit some of the is still going to hit some of the northern suburbs. So either way, going to be very, very dangerous situation. And yes, Weather with Eli, I am live. Emergency live stream, because earlier there was 100-mile-an-hour winds. I'll be live till probably 10 or so. This was not exactly planned, but I'll be here as long as I can. But yeah, if you are if you are in the sorry, I was laughing at something that someone said in chat, if you're confused. But yeah, if you are in the Wichita Metro, I suggest that you take this very, very seriously. This is a potentially dangerous situation for you. This could be approaching your area with probably 70, 80, even 90 mile per hour winds. Earlier, there were a few instances of potentially 100 mile per hour winds in Kansas. So that could be a very, very dangerous situation for those in Wichita. Something that we really don't want to see right here. You can see the storm bowing out. This means that you have very, very strong winds blowing on the back end of the storm. This is kind of pushing the storm forward in the middle area, and you get this bow shape. Looks like it's about ready to shoot an arrow right towards Wichita, actually. But it means that there is very, very strong winds. 70, 80, 90 miles an hour in this case. We do have a report of 70 mile an hour winds. At least 70 mile an hour winds, could have been higher. 4-inch in diameter tree limbs down. Source is a trained spotter, so no matter what very, very dangerous storm that we are looking at, going to be potentially a derecho, potentially a derecho heading to the east. Kansas City could be impacted. And also we have to the south. We also have to the south a tornado warning. Oh wow. Let's check velocity on that. Radar indicated, could St. Louis get impacted by this? Maybe some thunderstorms, but nothing really severe, I don't think. Maybe a special weather statement. So some strong wind gusts, but nothing like there is over here. We do have very, very strong rotation. You can kind of see on here a hook, the RFD taking around the precipitation. It's very, very much a typical supercellular look that, very, very supercellular look that we do not like to see. This storm has been, storms have had good structure for a while. See if he is on it. Very, very strong wind gusts, it looks like, and heavy rain. Can't really tell much else. But yeah, going back to our northern storms, there appears to be another. There's now 2 70-mile-an-hour wind gust reports. Other one is this one to the north of it. Emergency manager, there's no remark, but in the Reno County, oh wow. Right here on velocity, you can clearly see where the strong winds are being produced. You can see the winds very, very hard, forcing the storm forward. You can see it on the reflectivity. This is going to be racing east at 60 miles per hour. Again, sorry if this is a little bit more low quality of a stream. I keep stuttering, etc. I did not anticipate going live, and I could not mentally or technologically prepare for it. So, you know, it's a much less smooth ride than normal, I guess. Moving south to the Oklahoma supercells again, checking in on that. Seems basically like very, very heavy rain and some gusty winds. I do not think that this will do this, but this is something that we watch for. These little kinks in the line are areas where there could be future rotation a lot of times. Sometimes these kinks can kind of bend over and kind of meet with each other, and that causes a lot of rotation. You have the green going in here, and then the red right here is where you would have it, and it can cause potentially some embedded tornadoes. Now, on that last frame, it kind of smoothed out, which is what we want to see. But yeah. There's still a little bit of a, still a little bit of a potential area where there could be rotation right in here. But yeah. Going down to our southern supercells. Appears to be some very, very strong winds, heavy rain. The tornado appears that it would be rain wrapped, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. There is, yeah. Um, Back to the weather. This severe thunderstorm warning has a tornado possible tag, 80-mile-per-hour winds. So we still have the storm heading towards Wichita, 80-mile-per-hour winds, possible tornado, moving to the east at 70 miles per hour now. This is a very, very dangerous storm. This is actually considered destructive. So be very, very careful with it. Go into an interior room in the lowest level. Treat it like a tornado, even though there is not a tornado warning. Trying to get situated here. But yeah, we have this storm moving east at 70 miles per hour. Brandon Kopic is on it. Very, very interesting cloud structure. You see the shelf cloud above him with the Mammatus. And right behind him there, right to his northwest, you can see right here where the storm is producing potentially 70 to 80 mile per hour winds. Tornado possible, 80 mile per hour wind now for Wichita. Uh, it seems like we have potentially a spin up tornado about to occur. Let's check correlation coefficient here. It's near Custer City. All right. Ooh, there's a report of 80-mile-per-hour winds in Butler, Oklahoma. Source, federal. Moving back to the northern line. We now have a observed tornado. This is a particularly dangerous situation. 5 miles west of Custer City, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Broadcast media confirmed tornado. You are in a life-threatening situation. Flying debris may be deadly to those caught without shelter. Go to an interior room at the lowest level. If you are with no windows, if you are in Weatherford, Thomas, Hydro, Apalacho, Custer City, Bridgeport, and Greenfield. Oh, and now we have a tornado emergency. Confirmed large and destructive tornado was observed 4 miles west of Custer City, moving east at 30 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous situation. Take cover now. Hazard deadly tornado. Again, we have a tornado emergency for Custer City, Thomas, Highway 183, north of Arapaho. For the next 50 minutes, a tornado emergency for a confirmed large and destructive tornado. Hello, Rain Maves. Again, to everyone currently on stream, we currently have a large and destructive tornado on the ground. Again, we have a tornado emergency for a massive, yes, I'm going to use the word massive, tornado on the ground. Let's see if, see the CC drop. There's been people who've seen it on the ground. Again, we have a large and extremely dangerous tornado. Again, we have a tornado emergency. 80-mile-per-hour winds have been reported, and we also have a large tornado on the ground. And when I say large, I mean large. We have a wedge tornado currently on the ground. Just now changed it so you can kind of better see this. right in here we have some potentially the strongest rotation I've seen, honestly. How bad is Tuesday looking? More focused on this right now, but I think Tuesday has some pretty significant potential. Could be another moderate risk. It's already a day 3 enhanced, so I really would not be surprised if we got a moderate from it. Again, right in here we have insanely strong rotation. I'm just gonna say that. Custer City should be taking cover now. Do not walk, do not crawl, run to shelter. Again, this is one of only a few tornado emergencies this year. This year has been one of the most active tornado seasons that I've seen in a while. It's been insanely lightning or storm active recently. It's above average overall, and we've only seen a couple of tornado emergencies. So that's just putting out there how significant this really is. Again, more focused on this tornado emergency going on right now. However, northwestern Pennsylvania is looking potentially severe. Main area will be to your southwest, though. Again, even if you are not going to be impacted by the tornado, still take cover because you don't know that right now. And also, this storm has large hail, I believe. So, also there were reports of 80-mile-an-hour winds earlier. Could it be influenced by the tornado? Yes. But also there is tennis ball-sized hail. Also, we have a tornado warning in this line of thunderstorms up further north. It has 90-mile-per-hour winds. Wichita, you guys are about to be getting hit hard. There was recently at 8:40 p.m. 15 minutes ago, because this is Eastern time for where I live. Terrain spotter reported 80-mile-per-hour winds. Again, we have a severe thunderstorm warning in Wichita for 90-mile-per-hour winds. That's going to be very, very dangerous. Take shelter, treat it like a tornado. Now going back south to the Oklahoma tornado, they took out the tornado emergency, which is not really surprising. It was beginning to look like it was weakening a little. But either way, we've got some very, very strong rotation here. We are now, as expected, getting a few damage reports out from this tornado. Nothing really to relay just yet, but I can't imagine there's not significant damage from that. That was a massive wedge on the ground. Again, we still have a PDS tornado warning in effect for 16 more minutes unless they take it off earlier. Quite a robust supercell. I am in the long term concerned that it could go generally into the northern Oklahoma City metro, but I believe that it will be weakening. We still have a PDS tornado warning, no longer a tornado emergency. I don't know if we have confirmation that it's still on the ground, but either way, if you are in Custer City, Thomas, Bridgeport, Hinton, Weatherford, all you guys in there need to be still sheltering, okay? Take cover for probably 15, 30 minutes, it appears. Alright, so tornado has lifted. Going back to the destructive thunderstorm, right in time for it to hit Wichita, it appears. Yep. We have a destructive severe thunderstorm warning, warned for 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts. We have a report just 20-ish minutes ago for 80-mile-per-hour winds, and there are radar indicated 90-mile-per-hour winds. Take shelter if you're in Wichita. Treat it like a tornado. This is a very, very dangerous situation. We have Brandon Kopic in the storm. You have a view of the shelf cloud. Winds are probably about to hit him. Like, really soon. But yeah, a intense, destructive thunderstorm is heading into the Wichita metro. Can you show what stages are experiencing the severe weather when you get a chance? I just joined. If you mean the Storm Prediction Center outlook, we can go out over that really quick. So in the green, the lighter green, you have the general thunderstorm risk. Very, very large across a large chunk of the United States. In the darker green, we have a marginal risk. This means that there could be some isolated severe thunderstorms. Still not much to worry about. In the slight risk, you have some scattered severe weather at this point. Potentially some hail, some tornadoes, some damaging winds. Now heading into the main event, in the enhanced and in the moderate risk, this is the area where we are experiencing a potential derecho in Kansas and Oklahoma, as well as a tornadic storm currently in Oklahoma. We also have a line of damaging storms heading into Wichita. You're welcome. The tornado recycled. For the next little bit, I'm going to be really switching between that storm and the Wichita damaging winds. We have a tornado report back here, broadcast media in Butler, Oklahoma, reported at 8:35. That was our first report. Connor has eyes. I know he has eyes. His exact words are, "Look at that rope." Don't see it right now. Hopefully he'll shift his car over toward, yep, thinks what he's doing right now. Maybe. But yeah, we have another tornado on the ground. Heading back north to the Wichita storm. Wichita is currently getting slammed by a severe thunderstorm warning, tornado possible tag, 90-mile-per-hour winds, and half-dollar size hail. So that's 1.25 inches in diameter. Right here on Brandon Kopic's stream, you can see visibility is getting very, very low because of the very, very heavy rain. And the winds, we have been having reports of 80-mile-per-hour winds in this. And it is currently hitting Wichita. Again, we have a tornado warning for tornado and half-dollar sized hail in this thunderstorm that even if you don't get hit by the tornado itself, also has 90-mile-per-hour winds with it. This is a very, very robust storm. You can see right here where it bows out, and you have the heavy winds pushing the storm forward. And that is really, really where we're looking for potentially damaging winds of 90, maybe even 100 miles an hour. Again, we have this long line of storms with winds up to 90 miles per hour in some of these warnings. This whole complex of thunderstorms could be a derecho. Tornado warning in 80-mile-per-hour winds were reported. Off-duty National Weather Service employee had 72. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Okay, there we go. Whitewater Fire Department estimates 70 to 80-mile-per-hour winds. Also a tornado warning in South Dakota. Sorry. Rotation right in here. But yeah, if you are in this tornado warning, it has 70-mile-per-hour winds, tornado potentially, and ping pong ball sized hail. It is going to hit Canal around 7, and this is for east central Corson County and north central South Dakota and western Campbell County in South Dakota. Moving back into Oklahoma, see what it's doing. Tennis ball sized hail, so very, very large hail in this storm. The tornado warning for the line in Wichita, the tornado warning to the north of Wichita, has expired, but we still have this thunderstorm with 90-mile-per-hour winds. Currently going through Wichita. You guys should already be in your safe place. And it is now heading into El Dorado, Kirby, Clearwater, Viola, Norwich, Bloomington, Douglas, Rose Hill, Latham, Augusta, Andover, Towanda, Chelsea, Cassidy, Matfield, Green, Bizarre, Toledo, Council Grove, Dunlap, and Americus, as well as Eskridge. This storm has winds, depending on where in the line, 60 to maybe a localized 100-mile-per-hour wind gust. Okay. Oklahoma tornado warning is now a observed, particularly dangerous situation for a confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado located 8 miles northwest of Hydro, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Weather spotter confirmed tornado. Locations impacted include Hinton, Thomas, Hydro, Bridgeport, and Greenfield. If you're in those areas, take shelter immediately. Taking a look at the at velocity. Oh wow, we have a very, very strong couplet right in here. It's where we have very, very strong rotation. See if either chasers have eyes on it. Okay, checking correlation coefficient. Nothing. Weather spotters have confirmed this tornado, though. So, confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado. Let's see as those reports come in. Wichita area, power lines down, roofs blown off of homes. Wow. Multiple power lines down, as well as structural damage reported, time based upon other reports. Roof blown off on a building in South Main Street. Power lines down. Extensive tree damage in around Newton. Many roads blocked courtesy of AccuWeather. There were also reports of 60, 70, 80 miles per hour in here. McPherson also had power lines down in the 660 block West Hayes. Whitewater Fire Department estimates 70, 80 mile per hour winds in Whitewater. I'm very surprised that the radar is still up. But yeah, most of the really especially strong winds are more in this area. And this is going to be blasting its way east and could hit El Dorado hard very, very soon, as well as Chelsea, Cassidy, Augusta, Leon, Matfield, Green, Cedar Point, Bazaar. These areas could be experiencing winds already, if not right now, very very soon, of up to 90 miles per hour. In the Wichita area, specifically in Minna, don't know how you pronounce that. In Sedgwick County, broadcast media measured 75-mile-per-hour winds, so that's just above hurricane force. Um, Measured near 13th and Webb, courtesy of Cake TV. Also, here further south in the general Oklahoma City area, we have a tornado um, currently on the ground, potentially, producing a large and dangerous tornado. On velocity, we have very, very strong rotation in here. Um, there has been weather spotter confirmed reports. But yeah, we have a line of robust thunderstorms producing 90-mile-per-hour winds that has been going through the Wichita area. Again, I am actually quite surprised the radar's still up. But it appears it is. El Dorado, Chelsea, Cassidy, you guys are about to get hit by the brunt of this storm. Be sure to report anything that you see, any damage, any recorded gusts to the National Weather Service when you can do so safely. Also, if you would like to tag me on Twitter to report anything, at Intrepid Weather. Just know if you report something, it can be featured on stream. Again, currently a large and dangerous tornado to the west of Oklahoma City. El Dorado is about to be getting hit by a storm with up to 90-mile-per-hour winds. I'm not going to be able to provide coverage for too much longer, but I will try to go as long as I can. Again, we have a very, very strong storm currently moving east at 65 miles per hour. Pretty fast for a storm. $half sized hail might not sound like much, but whenever it's being flung at 90 miles per hour plus, the falling speed, it's basically a missile. It's very, very dangerous. Wind-driven hail is not something you want to mess around with. A report in El Dorado came for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Trained spotter report. Areas between Augusta and Matfield Green, including El Dorado, are in a very, very dangerous situation. Winds could be up to 90 miles per hour. El Dorado has been getting hit very, very hard from a storm with up to 90 mile per hour winds. "60 mile per hour wind report, train spotters in El Dorado, Kansas." We are getting more storm reports of 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. I do think that some people on the front edge of this storm could have gotten up to 90 mile per hour winds. We'll see if more reports come in. But power is out in El Dorado. I mean, as you'd expect, with 60 to 90 mile an hour winds. Yeah, very, very destructive storm we're having in eastern Kansas right now. Right in here we have what looks like a little bit of a hook, but this hook was a lot more predominant earlier. In fact, if I go onto the, if I go ahead and play this back, seems like this cell is really on the downtrend. You see the RFD pulling around the precipitation a lot less than you used to. Either way, a very, very robust storm heading right on right towards Oklahoma City. And then we have a storm with potentially 90-mile-an-hour winds, heading east in eastern Kansas. That already hit El Dorado. I'll be on until 10 o'clock and then I'll have to go. Currently, line bowing out in central and eastern Kansas. Very, very strong winds, 60, 70, potentially even up to 90 miles per hour. Alright, I am going to hop off. I have to go for the night. However, I will provide you all with one more little update before I go. So currently we have this line, which could be a derecho, racing east across eastern Kansas. This will be making its way even towards St. Louis, but it will not be very severe by then. It will not probably be severe at all. But in the short term, between right now and midnight, this could be producing winds of up to 80, 90 miles per hour. Could be producing large hail, and could be producing a couple of tornadoes. Now, also worth noting is that we have near Oklahoma City a robust supercell, and that could be producing that could produce tornadoes as we head forward. But currently has a tornado warning with also golf ball sized hail and 70 mile per hour wind gusts. And that is about it for the night. See ya tomorrow. Or not see ya tomorrow. See ya.